Subaru, we have to have a talk, dude. We have to have a talk, dude. You have to pick your battles. Choose when to fight which targets. There's the old saying of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Take advantage of the fact that Regulus and Sirius aren't on good terms and utilize his help to stop Sirius and then go after Regulus. I'm not saying that Regulus is a good guy, but it obviously seems like he's not harming Amelia. You're going to have to get him from Amelia eventually, but he seems like he's the only archbishop that's somewhat calm in the scenario, so utilize that, use that guy. But yeah, episode 53 of ReZero, fantastic episode. My gosh, I am shipping Mimi and Garf so bad. I love those two. That scene at the end there with that hug was so freaking good. I was like, oh, my girl, she's in love with Garf. Garf, you got her taking care of you. She gonna take care of you. Definitely ended up being pretty much my theories around his mother and the idea that she lost her memories. I still think it's Gluttony. I still think it's the Archbishop of Gluttony. I think the moment they, possibly if they do, kill Gluttony, I think that's going to free her memories. And I just want that. I don't want it to be as simple she hit her head and lost her memories. I really do hope it's going to be a thing where they take down Gluttony and then, boom, memories come back and he can finally call her mom. But yeah, other than that, so much crazy stuff in this episode. Subaru getting wrecked by a pebble. We get a little great scene with Felix poking his wound over and over again. We get the appearance of the other censored lolly. Yes, the other censored lolly has finally shown up. The Archbishop of Lust is here. We unfortunately don't get to see her besides her face, but we get to hear her for a little brief moment. But yes, we get our other censored lolly is finally making the appearance. So maybe that'll be next episode. Super excited for that. So much to go over, though, but let's just dive into the episode like proper and just go through every segment. I'm going to start off with Subaru stuff, with him facing off against Regulus and Sirius. Like I said, I have a little frustration here where it seems like obviously the two of these archbishops are like button heads. They're fighting each other. They're literally fighting each other. And you have Sirius is throwing flames at Regulus, and Regulus is shielding Amelia. Like, Sirius wants Amelia dead. And again, I think based on my theory here is that Sirius is going to end up being Amelia's mom, Fortuna. And this episode did kind of compound on that a little bit more, on the idea that she was looking for Pedaggus, that Pedaggus was the one that she is distraught over. And then yes, now that Subaru is showing that he has that unseen hand, suddenly she's like, oh, it's Pedaggus, you're back. You came back to me. You found my, you sensed my love and you came back for me, and then goes straight yandere mode. But she thinks that Amelia has taken that. And my theory was going on the idea that there was like this jealousy that was there because Pedaggus really liked Amelia back in the day when they used to play tag and everything. But yes, it does technically make sense that I would assume that at some point Pedaggus said, I'm going to go here with the cult and take down Amelia. And she might have taken that as, because she really loved Pedaggus, that he was running off with Amelia. And so that was that yandere nature coming up. So I can see the two sides there. If it is not Fortuna, then it's simply because she really, really liked Pedaggus, the Archbishop of Sloth, and he went off to go take care of Amelia, and she thought that was her basically running off with him. Because yes, Pedaggus was obsessed with envy, and this was like this thing that was connected to that. So that might explain that, but I'm still going to hold on my theory that it's probably going to be Fortuna. But we'll see. Again, hair color, eye color, all that stuff is kind of just aiming that direction. But again, my frustration here is like the idea that, okay, Regulus shows up, he's protecting Amelia. This is one of his wives, doesn't even know what her name is, which is actually interesting that he's taking her because he's seen her and she's cute, and he's going to take her as a wife, but it's kind of implying the idea that he didn't even know what her name was. Now, again, that can go in the idea that this Amelia is not the name that they give her, that she is the, reincarnation of the witch or whatever. But still, it's like he doesn't even know Amelia as her name. Which, yes, technically at the end of the episode, it indicates that the reason why they're here is not Amelia. The reason why they're here is possibly for the remains of this witch, which I'll get in my theories on that in a minute. But either way, he's protecting Amelia, and Sirius wants her dead, and Subaru's on the sidelines as they're arguing. My thing here in this situation would be to, not that I'm going to ally with Regulus, but that I'm going to sort of ping off of him to take down Sirius first, and then worry about Amelia. But I think that really goes down that realm where sometimes whenever situations like this, Subaru doesn't really think. He just immediately thinks somebody has Amelia and Amelia is mine. Even though I was kind of wondering if Regulus at some point would point out the fact that Subaru has failed to protect her so many times in this scenario. Like, you let her get set on fire, he saved her, and then you're like, give her back to me. And then he gets flames thrown at him again. He protects her again. It's like, what are you doing, Subaru? I think she's better off in his hands right now. But no, the conversation with Regulus was really interesting because, like, the earlier moments of it was, like, just really kind of instilling upon him. It almost feels like through this whole conversation, especially the end of it, it really does feel like Regulus almost pities Subaru in a way. Like, the idea that initially he's really wants to have common courtesy. He wants to have a conversation, make a connection through introductions. You're not even giving me your name. He's like, oh, well, I'm Subaru. Okay, good. Now we can actually have a commonality here. The world is a nicer thing when everybody shows some sort of natural degree of consideration here. I really love that kind of, like, it sounds like he's being really polite and he's being nice and he's wanting to have a conversation. But then, yes, Subaru starts attacking, and it's like, you're gonna hit Amelia. You start running up there, doing the whole Beatrice backpack thing, which I really, really love. Freaking goes in there, attacks, and all that kind of stuff. Fails miserably. And yes, that sets off Wrath. Sees the unseen hands of Sloth, gets really obsessed with him, but at the same time gets super yandere that she wants to burn everybody because he knows the only reason that he's there is for the half devil. And now you have this spirit next to you, this little girl next to you. I'm gonna burn you all. Again, goes straight yandere mode. I have to say, the Seiyu behind Sirius is amazing. I don't want to look her up because I'm afraid of seeing possibly that it's the same Seiyu as Fortuna, so I'm staying away from the Seiyus. But still, it's like that acting role. Like, she needs to have a nice long paid vacation after this role because she is screaming that microphone and doing such an amazing job. But yeah, it all wraps up with the bells tolling. Suddenly the bells toll and everybody leaves. Sirius is like, okay, I guess we'll have to wait. I have to listen to the gospel. Goes to leave. Regulus the same thing. Hey, sorry, we'll have to continue this later. I gotta listen to the gospel. They're both like immediately, once that chime goes off, they leave. Obviously indicating that the gospel has wrote in there that when the bell tolls, they have to go do something. And that's always an interesting thing, is because it doesn't really feel like there's something pushing them to do it. Like, there's not a physical control that's telling them, bell tolled, time to go. They literally just know, based on it being wrote in there, they have to go do this. And my theory that is with the books themselves, this is all something that I think possibly Akidona had made. My theory is that she made those books because she gave one to Roswell and she gave one to Beatrice. I believe she made those books and gave it to him. And my theory behind the books themselves is that they are a communication device. That's why Beatrice is not, like, it stopped at some point, is because there was nothing else to be wrote in there because she's not there to write anymore. Whereas these individuals, the archbishops, I think they all have them as a communication device from whoever's leading them. If it's right now Pandora, is Pandora leading the witches cult? She's communicating to them to say, go do this, go do this, go do this, and thus they have to follow those orders. It's basically a way of them receiving orders from a long distance through these, like, magical books. So it's interesting that immediately, right when that is in the book, they have to listen to it. Again, not that it feels like they are being physically controlled, it's just they know it's in there and they're supposed to follow those orders. But yeah, the parting gift from Regulus is a pebble. He literally just taps the pebble, freaking takes off his whole leg. I'm like, damn. And yeah, I knew immediately when I seen his eyes glow, I'm like, yeah, everybody's probably bleeding out right now. I thought that was honestly going to be a reset point, but it looks like Beatrice completely expended all of her mana to save everybody. But no, Regulus's parting comments, again, I almost feel like he has some sort of, I guess, pity for Subaru. Like, I know that you like her, and I've fallen in love with her because of her face. She's so cute. And so I'm going to take her away. I was actually thinking of actually having you as a groomsmate, but yeah, I got to get back at you. So I'm going to kick this into your leg, blast off your leg. Now we're even. Like, it's almost indicating that Regulus later on, if he does get married with Amelia, he's going to want to invite Subaru so that he could be at his side as his best man. Very interesting stuff. But no, I got a kick out of that. The fact that he doesn't even know Amelia. He just knows her by a cute face and that he's going to come back later for her. And so he's going to marry her. You're going to be my 79th wife. Whatever. Like, shrug. Again, doesn't really indicate that it feels like Regulus recognizes her. Again, he technically ran into her a long time ago when she was younger, but does he just not recognize her? Well, I mean, he could have fell in love with her back then, but I would more assume it's probably now. But I gotta kick out the fact that Subaru's like, what? You don't even know your name and you're in love with her? Yeah, she got a cute face, so I fell in love with her. I mean, isn't that how you fall in love? No, that's not how you fall in love. It's like, Subaru, that's literally what you did. Like, we have Subaru being like a total hypocrite here. Like, dude, you completely fell in love with Amelia just by her looks. Like, you went totally ham on her just by seeing how cute she was. But yeah, it was interesting to see that Subaru, I guess over the last year, has developed an original ability along with Beatrice. He said that it's an original spell that separates them from the world by half step. I guess, I mean, because Regulus didn't turn when they went by, the assumption there is that it's almost like they're moving so fast or possibly slowing down time in order to get past them quickly without being noticed. It almost kind of, at first I kind of thought it was like an idea of almost like stepping into another realm very briefly before coming back in. But still, it's like, okay, that was I guess a nice little indication that he's been developing something. Again, he's technically grabbing Regulus in the neck with a whip without hitting Amelia right there. And then yes, he's still trying to figure out how to use Sloth's ability, but he's still failing miserably at that. It is kind of odd that it felt like he used that hand a lot better against Garf than Regulus. And that was a long time ago. It was like his first time using it. But yeah, we get a brief moment of Beatrice crying, which that bugs me. Subaru, you made Beatrice cry again. You are not allowed to make Beatrice cry. You are an absolute failure, Subaru. But no, he wakes up to Al and then goes over to see that, yes, Beatrice has wasted all of her mana and that she's in a spinning state. And yes, apparently the boy ran off and got Al to go help him. Felix is kind of helping him out as well. Get little Felix poking Subaru's wound over and over again. Yeah. Keep poking. I miss Felix. We don't get enough Felix in this series. But yes, then he goes up to the Witches Cult response team, which we find out that, yes, the Muse Company is run by Kiritaka, which that's the guy that loves the songstress, that they had the broadcast from Lust, and that, yes, they're possibly there in order to claim the remains of a certain witch that is in there. Which, yes, it's kind of one of those interesting things, because it's like, yes, when they first arrived in this town, obviously the way that it's structured seems stupid. You have this massive town that's got this massive pile of water there, and just opening a gate can literally flood the whole thing. They implied back then that, yes, this was all a massive trap that was to possibly trap the mob beast, but now this is the indication that no, it was to trap a witch. They've trapped a witch in there, its remains are still there, and it seems like possibly these archbishops are there, the witch's cult is there, in order to claim it. Question mark is, which witch is this? Because again, the only indication that we have so far of the witches that, yes, there's the tales that the Witch of Envy had sealed all of them away. Then we also got an indication that Kidona was, off inside the sanctuary and is hidden there. We've seen her body there, but we don't see the bodies of the other ones. So the assumption here is the rest of them possibly died elsewhere or possibly sealed away once they were all destroyed at some point. My prediction is possibly going to be Lust. I think the Witch of Lust might be the one that might be there. It could be Gluttony, because again, I think it was Subaru threw out the idea of mob beast, and they didn't really immediately decline that. But again, they could possibly have not known what was trapped there. Maybe it might be an internal secret that, yes, a witch's corpse is there. They don't want to make it broadcast to everybody, because then, like right now, the witch's cult knows about it, and they're coming there to get it. So we'll see. I would probably assume either Lust or Gluttony is there. Or it could be Wrath. It could be Minerva, because that massive bowl could be the fact that it's a massive crater created by Minerva. We'll see, though. It's not that significant right now. But yeah, they indicate that they control the 4 towers right now. They put up a flag and everything. They're broadcasting out. Everybody's kind of taken away and safe, which is nice to kind of indicate the fact that this city is, yes, built to be kind of floodable, which is kind of dumb, but at least it's also indicated that these people know how to handle this. Like, this isn't set up this way, waiting for the moment that somebody presses a button and everybody gets flooded and they go, "Ooh, how'd that happen?" They're all prepared for this. And again, it indicates that the reason why it's still there is because they have to keep the remains there. I think the fact that we haven't really lost anybody at this point, I think this might be the reset point, if it's convenient. Because I feel like the last one was pretty convenient. We might have another convenient reset point. I think possibly this meeting might end up being the reset point. Or it could be the moment that Subaru wakes up to Al. That could possibly be the next reset point. We'll see, though. But I don't know that we want to redo all this stuff. Like, there was so much build around Garf and stuff that I don't know that we want to have all that stuff repeated. Anyway, that's all the Subaru stuff. Let's get into Garf, because I really, really like this segment. The other segment, yes, that Garf went there, met his mom. Yes, we got a confirmation it is his mom. Got to stay there for a little bit. At some point, the daughter came in and was like, "Oh, we gotta shoo them off or whatever. Can you send your guests away?" And it's like, dang, this girl's mean. Like this daughter is mean. But no, sends them off. Garf rushes out of there, runs away, and yes, starts to get visions of Elsa again. Still, to this day, every time Elsa's on the screen, she is insanely creepy. I think she is so crazy how she is still to this point probably one of the most terrifying characters, even though all indications right now is that she's dead. Even as a figment in Garf's head, she's freaking creepy as hell. Credits to the animators and everything to constantly make Elsa absolutely terrifying, hot at the same time, absolutely terrifying. But no, him running away, Mimi again showing up, trying to console him. I love Mimi so much. Mimi and Garf is so fantastic. But yes, the husband showing up and us getting confirmation there. Him saying, what's her actual real name? Oh, she has this name. Isn't Liata her real name? Wait, how do you know about that? Yes, I found her 15 years ago. She had no memories. She became my wife. I really love her. Yada, yada, yada. Her showing up with the gifts and then them leaving. And then again, that scene with him and Mimi was just so fantastic. And the idea that she knows that there's pain in Garf. Like, Garf is going through something. He's struggling. And at some point, just mention the idea. Do you want to cry? Here, come into my bosom. I can't do that. You're allowed to do that with the one that you love. And he's like, who the hell said that? I'm not in love with a chibi like you. And then she's like, well, I love you. I'm like, oh my gosh, baby girl, my girl. I was like, oh my gosh, that got me all kind of worked up. Freaking Mimi's just like, well, I fell in love with you, Garf. And so you're allowed to bury your face in my bosom and cry. And then he just does it. He just lets it go. So freaking fantastic. I was like, yeah, there you go, Garf. There's your sign, Garf. You take care of that, Mimi. I absolutely love it. She's so sweet. And I got all the indications of that. I honestly felt like Mimi really liked him at some point. I mean, yes, early on, it really felt like it was all because he mentioned something about food. And so she just likes him because of food. But at some point, it just kind of felt like she kept trying to pursue him, kept trying to find him and trying to help him with the situation. And yeah, it just feels like at some point she just fell in love with him. And it was like, okay, that's sweet. I love it. But no, Garf's words just freaking hurt though. And the idea that he's frustrated because I've been looking for you all this time. Now I finally found you. It's confirmed at this point. Even Mimi's saying that she smells the same smell on her. Like, she's like, yeah, it's got to be your mom, right? Because she smells like you. Like, all this indication, he knows it's her, but at the same time, he's just absolutely frustrated because she doesn't remember him and he can't call her mom. Like, I finally found you. Like, Garf still inside is kind of a kid. And they've kind of pointed out several times. I think Ram pointed out often. Is the idea that inside Garf is still a kid. I think that's why Subaru was able to win him over. It's just kind of playing into that. So right here, he's just like in that juvenile, vulnerable state of like, I finally found my mother. I finally found my kin. This thing that I've been, lost so long ago and been suffering over. And I can't even call her mom. It's just gotta be super frustrating to have somebody. I mean, I've dealt with somebody that I love and cherish losing their memories. It's heartbreaking. It's like they lose their sense and they're not the same person. They're not the same person. You see them as like, that is my parent, but at the same time, they don't see me the same way. They don't look at me the same way. Super heartbreaking and super, super personal for me. It is really also sweet, the fact that they reveal later on that there's sort of a connection that Garf has with Mimi and the idea of them both not really having parents. And the idea that Mimi, apparently her mom just up and left, not wanting to take care of 3 kids. But it was super sweet. Super, super sweet. But yeah, we get later on them walking and Lust makes the broadcast and then everybody's panicking and then mom shows up and says, I've lost the children. I can't find the children. And yeah, my husband works at the place where that Metia is, that Lust is calling from. So that obviously indicates that Garf is going to be going head to head with Lust, or at least initially. I don't know, the conversation with the mother felt off. I really do feel like the conversation with the mother felt a little off. It's just the way that she kind of worded everything. But so there is a side of me that almost kind of wonders if possibly the mom's being controlled by Lust. Possibly. I mean, when I think of an Archbishop of Lust, the assumption there is it's going to be somebody that will control people's desires. And so my assumption is that when she got to the broadcast room, she was going to turn all of the citizens to be under control. And so it wouldn't be too much of a stretch, the idea that if she possibly wants Garf to come there, like knowing that Garf is in the area and that Garf has met his mother, that yes, she can utilize that in order to send Garf that direction. I don't know why Lust would be targeting Garf specifically to have him drawn there, but I don't know. I assume at some point we're probably going to have some sort of indication that that is what the Archbishop of Lust can do. But yeah, other than all that, we had the brief appearance of Gluttony showing up. Poor Otto has to stumble upon Gluttony. Great. But at least that indicates that Gluttony has come there. I don't know if possibly they knew that was the case because, again, we still had a long time ago, Joshua was supposed to go to the gate and get this letter that was apparently the information they had on Gluttony, but Gluttony's already here at this point, so now I'm kind of wondering what the heck was the point of bringing up the letter to begin with, other than bring everybody there. But still, it's like, whatever happened to Joshua? I'm still wondering what happened to Joshua. We had in the first episode, he was sent to go get this letter, and we've still not seen anything about that. Anyhow, I think that's it. I think that's everything. That's my thoughts on episode 53. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, hit that like button down below, comment, let me know what's the episode. No spoilers, don't need light novel spoilers. It's okay. You don't have to answer any speculation or questions or anything. I just have fun here. And I hope, and so yes, anybody that is watching this is anime only, don't read the comments. Don't go near the comments. I can't control them. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe before you leave. If you like this content, you want to support the channel more, I have links in the description below. Greatly appreciate it, but does. Until next time, y'all take care.